Hey Bayek, it's me Ian, and in today's video I'm looking at this. This is Opera from 1987, and it is a Giallo slasher horror film from the master himself. Well, yes, Dario Argento. Wow, this film is amazing. I absolutely love it. And it is an absolute classic. It is really... I'm surprised more people don't actually talk about this film. I do love Suspiria still. It's one of my all-time great films. But he made such a lot of really good films, didn't he? I mean, really. And this is one of them. And in fact, in the interview we get on this Blu-ray edition, he says that this is his favourite. Yes, this is his favourite of the films he made. Anyhow, let me get into it. So, it's 107 minutes long. Rotten Tomatoes reflect quite well on this, 90%. A lot of critics did appreciate this, though there were some who always are not going to like this kind of film. And that's the way it is, isn't it, really? Now, the story was by Dario Argento and Franco Ferrini. And then Argento did the screenplay of the story. And, of course, it's directed by Dario Argento. And, you know, he's just some wonderful films. You know, there's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, 1970. The Cat of Nine Tails. Cat O' Nine Tails is down as 1971. And Four Flies on Grey Velvet, 1971. They're the earlier ones. Then we've got Deep Red, 1975. We've got the trilogy. We've got Suspiria, of course, 1977. Then we've got Inferno, 1980. And The Mother of Tears, 2007. Plus, also, I'd just like to mention Tenebrae, 1982. And Phenomena. I absolutely love Phenomena. That's 1985. He's just a great director. And he's still putting films out. He's great. It's such a wonderful CV of films. Fantastic. And what an influence he's had on so many people. Well, fantastic. Yeah, he's just a great director. So let me get into the cast. We've got Christina Marsalic, I think that's... I'm not very good at pronouncing. She plays Betty. She's a Spanish actress. She was in The Trap, 1985, which was an erotic thriller. She was also in Marrakesh Express, 1989, which was like a road movie. She's excellent in this film. She just plays it just right, just perfect, yeah. Then we've got Urbano Barberini playing Inspector Satini. And he's also very good in this film. Now, films I noticed in one that he actually starred in, well, two of them actually, was a series called Gore. They're books that I've read years and years ago, and they probably weren't that successful or great, but he was in the two films they did on Gore, which is great. It was 1987 Gore, and then Outlaw of Gore, 1988. They're sort of sword and sorcery kind of fantasy things. Really good. I enjoyed the books. I remember reading them years ago. Actually, I think I've still got some actually of this series. He was also in later years Casino Royale as well, 2006. He's got quite a consistent career of films. Then we've got Ian Charleson, Marco, he plays. Of course, he's well known for Chariots of Fire, he was 1981, and Gandhi, of course, Gandhi 1982. And sadly, this film was his last feature film that he did. He had this accident, and it was a sort of minor car crash, and he discovered on a blood test that he had AIDS, and sadly, in 1990, he passed away from AIDS. That's really sad, but he's a very important part of the film, and he's very good in this. Then we've got Daria Nicolodi, who plays Mira. She, when this was being filmed, was just breaking up with Argento. She'd been married to him. And she's featured a lot over the years in various forms. She was in Deep Red, 1975, and she was in Inferno. Yeah, she was in Inferno, 1980. And she was in The Mother of Tears, of course, 2007. She was also in Tenebrae, 1982, and Phenomena, 1985. Absolutely wonderful films. You can't argue with those films. Then we've got Barbara Copisti. She plays Signora Abbatini. A film that stands out. She was in The New York Ripper, 1982. And yes, here it is, the film that I absolutely love, The Church, 1989. She was in that fantastic film. Then I'd just like to mention that Michel Soavi plays Inspector Soavi. It's an uncredited role, but he's there in it. And of course, he was such a great director. Well, he still is. Stage Fright, 1989. And The Sect, 1991. The Church, yes, The Church, 1989. And The Cemetery Man from 1994. Great director. Talked about him before. Now, an important part of this film is, I think, the music. The music is the film. Let me just say that in the extras, Argento talked about his love of opera, and how as a child his mum took him along and he got to really enjoy opera. I can see why. It's sort of thing that once you get into opera, it really gets you. It really does. A lot of people like me probably as well think, oh no, that's not for me. But when you actually get into it, you can really appreciate it. And what I love about it is the mixture of music as well in this film. I mean, what film do you have opera being played and then you've got heavy metal? What a brilliant combination. I love it. I mean, this is one thing you say about Argento is music mixtures are fantastic. So we have people like the great Brian Eno composing music on here. Bill Wyman, Bill Wyman of the Stones does some as well. And then Claudio Simonetti. And then we've got music from Verdi with Macbeth, which the film is about in terms of Betty is playing Lady Macbeth. And we've got also music from Madame Butterfly, Puccini's opera. And of course, the famous La Traviata, which is a Verdi opera. Amazing, absolutely amazing music. And I just love it. It stands out. It's where everything comes together. But I know it's not going to be for everybody's taste. Oh, opera is a very sort of thing that people, yeah. But I have to confess, I do love this. It works so well. It made me want to actually think, oh God, I've got to get some more in collection of my CDs. Anyhow, but we'll talk another time. Okay, so you want to know what the premise of the film is? Well, this production is more of an avant-garde production that is taking place of Verdi's Macbeth, and the lead actress or singer, I suppose you say singer in this, is quite a difficult character, and she has this accident with a car. She gets knocked over by a car. So the understudy, Betty, is called into the role, and they know she's good, and she does a brilliant job. But while all this is going on, certain things start to happen. In other words, murder. But not just murder, a slasher murder. So we still keep getting these murders taking place, and it all centers around that. And there's reasons why as we get further into it, there's great reveals. But one of the things that really happens is that she gets the killer toys with her. Really, he ties her up, and he forces her eyes open. She has to have her eyes open, and he kills these victims in front of her in a most very gory, frightening way. And the camera is absolutely brilliant, the way it looked with her eyes, where these eyes are forced open. Amazing direction. And then we see the slashing, and we see the black gloves of the killer. All these camera angles of the killings are fantastic. And so that is how the story unravels. I'm not going to give you, though the reveal is quite reasonably early on. Well, not early, but, the reveal is quite early relatively to the film ending of who the actual person is. And it's not actually a surprise. I kind of worked it out before. Mind you, I have seen it a few times before. That might help. But it's great. But when you think what you think's happening, the ending is just really great. I just love the ending. It's fantastic the way it just carries on. You think it's ended, but it hasn't ended. If you see what I mean. Aha! It's so well written, so well put together, fantastic. And the direction, he is just really at his peak in direction. Really, just amazing. And the colours again. You remember in Suspiria we used colour. And he's doing that here. The colours, the use of it, but mixed with all these camera angles and exciting shots that he's able to produce as a director. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this never got a theatrical release in America. There was an argument with problems about cutting things that he didn't want to cut. In the end, it got a VHS release, and it was called, of course, Terror at the Opera. They had to change the title. In this country, in the UK, it was censored in 1990. 47 seconds were cut. But in 2002, on DVD release, they were restored. So there's also little stories about, with it being Macbeth, the curse of Macbeth, things going on behind the scenes as well, including this car crash that happened in real life. But I like that. It all adds to the sort of mythology of the film, which he talks about in the interview, which I quite like, because Macbeth has this tradition of things, or Scottish play as they call it, things go on, and the opera, that's what they're saying, the same thing. And this film, if you haven't seen it, it's essential. It is an essential Argento film. It's just so good, and I can, and the fact that he thinks this is his favorite film, really adds to that. And you can't help but agree with him in many ways. And I'll always put Suspiria as the masterpiece, but all the others, that's what I mean. I mentioned it all. He's got such a great catalogue of films. They're all really exciting and entertaining. Yeah. Anyhow, just before I go, this is the release I've got. I think it will get a 4K release. It may even be on the cards. But this is in, look at this, a slip. Yeah. Fantastic slip. And there's a DVD as well as a Blu-ray in this. And the extras, there's so much extras. There's the massive behind-the-scenes shots and everything we get. Big documentary, all just stuck together. Then there's a massive interview with him. and it is fantastic. Argento's interview, the extras, and he's took part in this transfer as well. He was very much involved in it, so that is a real bonus. This is on Cult Films. I don't know much about this. It's just Cult Films. I picked it up quite a long time ago, but I know there'll be another release of this. Definitely a 4K. It's highly recommended. There it is. You're gonna look at that. The eye thing again. Eyeballs. Yes. Anyhow, that's it. So, if you new to this channel, please subscribe, and we'll let you know when I produce the videos. And if you like this, it all helps with channel, and it helps with algorithms and all that, so that more people can actually see what I'm producing, hopefully, yes. And as I say, it all costs note, so you can't say fairer than that. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I really do love to read your comments. It's amazing. I do. Thank you so much when you put your comments down. And that's it, really. Yes. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.